Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the state of Path of Exile to give you a little bit of context for the question that I will be posing at the very end of this video. And it's mostly going to be a feels video, so don't expect anything too scientific. But all of this was prompted by the yesterday posted 2-minute snippet of my stream where somebody edited a little video from a pretty lengthy discussion that we had into a short video that prompted a lot of major controversy, I suppose I would say. I'm not going to be exactly discussing the contents of the video or who was right and who was wrong. I definitely was a little bit of an ass in the video, and I definitely think that some people maybe were a little bit of an ass in the comments. But there was a lot of discussion. The thread overall, I would say, was mostly negative with a lot of personal insights. However, it was still 76% upvoted, so some people did see the perspective that I was trying to bring to the discussion, and many people also brought on their own thoughts into it that I thought were very much reasonable. And one of those thoughts was, why is everyone framing this argument like GGG is taking their game back from complaining Redditors? They're the ones who made all the past leagues and created the Zoom meta. So how the fuck is it our fault that their vision has been compromised? They're the ones that compromised it. And I wholeheartedly agree. I think this is a very true comment. And I think with a little bit more context, again, we can get to that big question at the very end. So I will be going into a pretty extreme comparison by all means, but this is going to be about what we were shown at Path of Exile 2, which will inevitably be the game in due time. So this is a little bit of the footage from that showcase. And again, this is a showcase. This is early acts. Path of Exile 2 will be a new campaign that will naturally transition with the Path of Exile 1 campaign into one whole endgame. And I think through that, you do need to make some changes so that that transition is pretty smooth. So undeniably, with the recent changes done to PoE and the continuous reduction in power creep and zoom meta, Path of Exile has been slowing down. The comparison for this is the ExileCon race that was happening at the main stage at the very same event. And I'm going to be showing you some of the footage right here. This is Ty23, the winner, so you could argue the absolute best player at the time when it comes to Path of Exile. But if we're comparing speeds, this is quite a lot more speedy. And if you're playing Path of Exile through the campaign yourself, chances are that your gameplay looks a lot more like this than what we could see over here. This is just gameplay footage. Here we have a boss fight.
First 2 acts of the original Path of Exile have bosses that are some of the earliest content we ever made, and their age is really showing. For comparison, this fight here is at the same level as Fairgraves in the original campaign, but as you can see, it's a lot more advanced with a lot more going on.
A lot more strategic, you would say. Definitely a lot more attacks. The overall pacing much slower. Again, that doesn't mean that the character isn't going to be speeding up, but the transition needs to be smooth. Comparison. Top right corner. Over here you've got Ty23 killing one of the endgame act bosses. Pay attention here. He doesn't even look at it. It was practically instantaneous. Now, some of these things have been nerfed and some of these things have been slowed down, but I think some of it was for good reason and it absolutely made sense. So, to get to the final question, as I don't want to drag this video out too long, looking at this and having this context, try and remember what you were feeling when you saw Path of Exile 2 for the very first time. When you saw this footage, what exactly was going through your mind? Were you excited? Were you angry? Were you disappointed that Path of Exile is finally dead and the game that were so much looking forward to play will be forever gone, played by nobody? Or yeah, were you just hyped up? Were you looking forward to the potential of Path of Exile and what it could potentially could actually be in the future? And this is why we go back to this comment, because I wholeheartedly agree. If I were to compare Path of Exile right now to a real life scenario, I'd say that it is like a haircut, where if you've always had your hair short and maybe you're trying to grow it out, get that long, luscious, luxurious hair, you're gonna have a transitioning period where it's not going to look right. It's kind of long, kind of short. You can't quite style it. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes. Some people are gonna tell you that you look a little bit silly. Feedback is absolutely very much important when it comes to styling that hair, right? To get the long, luscious hair that you want at the very end, you're gonna need people to help you out with that, or you could get there yourself without any help. But nonetheless, it's going to be a little bit ugly, and I think right now there's definitely a lot of good things happening to Path of Exile, but also probably a lot more bad things that don't have immediate solutions. And I think GGG are looking to fix that. They're looking to improve the game overall. And again, if you were excited for the footage of Path of Exile 2, maybe all of these things aren't that bad. But I would like to hear your thoughts. I would like to listen to what you've got to say about this. Again, it was a pretty extreme comparison. I fully recognize that. But yeah, let me know what you think. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you later. Bye.